30 people who said they were going to participate in this. When we see what we got, actually it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 15. 2 or 3 said they really intend to come, but they had a work training that they absolutely had to do today. I think they'll probably leave it. Scarlett's coming. Scarlett's coming. And then we got one person in San Francisco who had to go to a wedding or something. She said she'll be coming, Anika, someone called Anika Matos. And Premraj is a repeat. He's in Vegas on business. So, what? Me, Dr. Nono. This is Teresa. This is a huge organizational job for an old fart like me. And so I've been lucky enough to have a few people who said they'd help out. Teresa is going to be doing the Skype. The guy who's doing the illustrations and layout for the book is up in Newport, New York. So Skyping him in. He's an old deadhead who did most of the posters for the Grateful Dead. And our ambition is to have this book be. Are any of you old enough to know Be Here Now? Be Here Now is by Ram Dass. Do any of you know who Ram Dass was? Wow. I am so ancient. Anyhow, that was a book in the 70s by a guy who used to be named Richard Albert and then became Baba Ram Dass. He was with Tim Finleary, the people who popularized LSD. And they went around the country turning people on. And then he realized it's just a trick. Like all drugs open the window, but it closes as soon as the drug stops. So he went to India and became a disciple of an enlightened master named Baba Ram, named Neem Karoli Barak. And he came back and he wrote this amazing book called Be Here Now. It was a square book. And it's with fantastic illustrations. It sold about 1 million copies. And it kind of brought Eastern spirituality to the whole hippie generation, which I was a part of. And thank you. In case any of you don't know her, this is Ma Carolyn, who I've been married to for 43 years. 30. It seems
How much longer?
And she keeps me honest. So. What's my password?
Don't look at me.
Let's hope this is the right one. You must have been here earlier, but here we are.
Is it on yet? Yeah, but. Put it down, let's move this one.
What? It's not email, it's just talking about Dr. Nono's slide. are co-creating, no self, no self. Can you hear it okay? Hope so. Okay. I'm a fifth body enlightened disciple of Osho, which means that I can be like a download. Whatever is happening here, while we're here, I am him. When I came back from the last Barter group that Carol and I did in San Diego, I was waking at night, and it said, do this book. And over 3 nights, the whole book came to me in conscious being. But the way we're doing this book is as a co-creation. And what that means, I'm saying the eternal truth, the same stuff that Muji and Adyashanti and Osho and Eckhart Tolle and Sadhguru and all the other contemporary enlightened teachers are doing. But where people get hung up is in the expert dummy. That they see the teacher like a parent or a priest or something, and they act like a child, and they don't take responsibility for their own end. And even though all the enlightened teachers say, hey, you gotta walk the path yourself, man. You gotta do it yourself. We're only pointers. We can only show you a little bit. People stay stuck in tell me what to do, or do it for me. The co-creation mode that we're in here gets rid of a lot of that. I'm not writing a book. We are putting something out there. The reason it's going up on YouTube, one, what you do here, you're so into it that you lose yourself. When you look at ourselves afterwards, you will get a whole different level of, oh wow, from seeing with more detachment how you were so involved in doing your own trips. The second reason is it'll keep us all more honest. The third is that as you look back, because this will probably take a whole year, you will see how much and how little you've changed over a year. And the fourth and most important is that all the people who are going to read this book, and my intuition is that it's going to be millions or more people. The intention here is to take the best of Western psychiatry and Eastern mysticism and put it in plain English so that it's accessible to ordinary people, because millions of people are ready, but they don't want to be patients, so they don't, and most psychiatrists are stuck in their own heads anyhow, and they don't want to go to the enlightened teachers yet, because it still seems too far out there, too esoteric and stuff like that. So this book is going to collapse the essence for both beginners and middlers in plain English, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. The circle process that we're using is that in each session we're going to have a time I'll say some things, and then everybody's going to get 3 minutes to say whatever they want. Hopefully, it will in some way reflect what your experience has been with the tasks, because the meeting isn't the whole trick. It's what you do 24/7 between meetings that will start to evolve your person or non-person. And you'll report back on what your experience has been, or anything else, or you'll sing a song or do a dance, any way you want to do it. There will be no commentary on each other's performance. Nobody's going to judge you, criticize you, give you advice or stuff like that. If you want to play any of those games, get together outside, do it. I'm not anybody's therapist in here. If you want to be my patient, you have to come to Elite DNA and, play patient, not play doctor. I'm really good at it, but that's not what this group is about. Today, are you ready for the people?
Yes.
One is Mikio, and the other is Sammy Joe. Sammy Joe, the way the book is happening, Sammy Joe is a sannyasi with multiple sclerosis in Washington. And she's going to get the video, transcribe it. Then she will send the transcription back to me. And I'll make very few changes in it. And then I'll send it up to Mikio, who's the illustrator in New Paltz. And he'll do the illustrations and put it together. And then he'll send it to the publisher. And they'll work together. We haven't published already. It's really happy. Do you have them yet? Okay. Did everybody sign a release? Cool. Everybody understands that you're each going to get 1% of the royalties. That if the book sells 1 million copies, that's 10 grand each. If it sells, more or less, depending on how many. The other one is Mikio, M-I-K-I-O. What's that? Is that a microphone?
No, the microphone's open.
Are they on?
I'm calling you.
Okay, terrific. All right. So let's. I'm going to start by giving you all the punchlines in case I die before the next meeting. One of the main techniques we've come up with in our barter groups is to treat each encounter with any human being that's of any importance to you, like you or I could die before we ever see each other again. So finish it. Whatever you have to say, give it your best shot. If there's anything hung over, let go of it. So that's what I'm doing today. We got 6 sections in this book. know yourself, love yourself, trust yourself. Death is both an advisor and a fiction. No self, no suffering. What am I doing on this planet? Know yourself. Know yourself is the essential instruction of all Eastern and Western mystery traditions. Socrates, Sate, know yourself. Ramana Maharshi, who am I? All meditative traditions ask you to know who you are, what you are. That doesn't mean putting labels on yourself. All the labels are what you have to realize are not you. Knowing yourself is a process of being aware in the moment. It's not anything you can get an answer for. And that's the job for the first couple months. It's called, in some traditions, like Gurdjieff called it self-remembrance. To remember yourself all the time. We get lost in the object. Like, excuse me, that's the,
Add him to.
yeah, Doug is Sammy Joe's husband. So, the main job for the whole process is to be as aware of what's going on as possible. What you are seeing, each one of us right now, is a picture that you're making in your mind. I don't see Danielle, she doesn't see me. You are constructing a picture in your mind in real time of the input of your senses, which then goes through all the memories and things that you've learned in hundreds of lives, makes an interpretation on it, and you think you're perceiving it, but we are all dreaming every second. To just remember that you're dreaming every second helps you take it all a little less seriously. The essence of all methods of meditation, Bodhidharma's breakthrough speech, all methods of meditation for the last 10,000 and the next 10,000 years are witnessing, watching the mind indifferently. Whatever comes to mind, if you can somehow remember that you're watching it, that you're not whatever the content in your thought is. You're not the content of the perception. That's called witnessing. That's the essence of all methods of meditation. All the other methods are to help you have this happen, because you can't do it. It's a knack. It happens. So, anyhow, that's the know yourself piece. The love yourself piece. The universe is a mysterious, I don't know what it's made of, but some of the words that have been used is consciousness and love and intelligence. You don't have to do love. You don't have to make love. You can't give love. Love is there all the time. What we do is block it out. The mind is a set of filters, blocks shutters that prevent the flow of love. Those of you who have been parents, remember how available for love the baby was when he comes out, or she comes out, and how it learns to not be lovable. Now, what I've come to understand as a psychiatrist is that the deepest idea of self is already split into a lovable me and an unlovable me. That around this unlovable me is the idea that I can't receive, and then you actively block out the love that's available. Depressives all do it. They shut down. They don't let it in. Addicts have it the worst. PTSD people have it split up. But it's always there, this unlovable self in there. Prevents the love. See, it's not that you got to get love. All the work for loving yourself is letting go of the blocks, letting go of the obstacles. The trust yourself piece the less mind is there, the more you are in tune, in harmony with the mysterious universe. So, the more you relax and get in tune, it will tell you, moment to moment, exactly what to do. Eat this hamburger, go out with this girl, take that medicine, go to sleep. No 10 Commandments, no Dr. Oz, no scientific literature can tell you what's right for you every minute. The information is helpful, but you have to learn to tune into yourself and trust this inner voice. What it's got to do with the first two is that the better you know yourself and love yourself, the clearer your inner look is. It becomes more accurate with time. The fourth piece, death is an advisor and a fiction. Almost everybody who authentically starts on a spiritual journey starts when they realize, I'm going to die someday. It can happen because a relative dies, a child dies, a friend dies, they get in an accident. It comes to you. Me, not the other guy's going to die. And that starts a deep, authentic search for what's it all about? What am I doing here? And what is death all about? Is this it? One life and out? Heaven and hell? Is something else? What goes on, if anything? That's a whole big subject that we're going to spend a lot of time on. And the other piece of that is when you eventually get deep enough, you realize that whatever you are is eternal. That it changes bodies the way you change clothes or buy new cars. And then it becomes a fiction. But it can't be a head trip. You can't just say, well, I read in this or in the Bhagavad Gita or something. It doesn't work. You have to get deep enough to know that you're immortal. Which leads to the next section of no self, no suffering. All the deep teaching, Buddhist, Advaita, Vedanta, a few, very few esoteric Christian sects, Hasidic Jews. There's nobody here. Self is an idea. It's constructed. When you get, and everybody's self is their story. That's why everybody hangs on to their story, whether it's a, I'm terrific Donald Trump story, or I'm so sad, you know, please help me and I can't do anything, miserable story. People stick to their story because it's their story. If you let go of your story, you let go of the idea of me. So the deeper you get in your meditation, the more you see there's no self, no soul, no individual. This is like a node in the universal network that's broadcasting. But there's nobody in particular in any way that we call a self that's doing it. When you get to that point, there's no suffering. Because that which suffers is always part of the story. Is there anything I'm supposed to do with this?
No, it's just playing.
Okay. Thank you so much, Teresa. I hope you can find somebody to work for you the other times.
Yeah.
How soon do you have to go?
I have to be at work at 2.
What time is it now?
1:40.
So you have 3 minutes to tell us who you are. Sit down. I know, but I want, everybody's going to get 3 minutes.
No, it's good.
And
Yeah,
you really can't do 3
I
minutes.
can't. I really am. I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry.
Okay. The popular Hindu teachers, like it's called Advaita, Muji. Maybe some of you have heard of him. Adyashanti is the Zen teacher. Eckhart Tolle, Sadhguru. Rupert Spira are my favorite contemporary enlightened teachers. They all, in one way or another, say the idea of self is the root of suffering. And so that's what this group is about at the level of method. Whenever anything comes up, if you can look at every thought, every feeling has got two sides to it. It's anger, my anger. Sadness, my sadness. If you can see the me who's having the feeling with the thought, you come to realize it's just watching it. It's a thought. Me is a thought, it's not a fact. And then the last piece, what am I doing on this planet? We're at a point, I have heard from Osho, my master, the greatest transition since we came out of the caves a couple million years ago, that mankind is either commit global suicide or there will be a global transformation in consciousness. There's no political, social, or economic solution to mankind's miseries. All revolutions have failed. All political solutions have put one gang of crooks instead of a different gang. But since, from the monkeys on up, it's been a few bosses exploiting the rest of the gang, getting most of the women the best food, etc. You know, They change their costumes and their story, but it's the same thing. Also, there's been the continuous, like from the very beginning, all beings are Buddhas from the beginning. That each one of us is the Buddha nature. We're born with it. We don't have to create it. We have to uncover it. That we all have the same amazing potential to realize ourselves. And what Osho, several others, Eckhart Tolle, Sadhguru all say, that this is a time for this huge rebellion, real revolution in human consciousness, where a new man is emerging. And it's individual by individual, like it can't be legislated, but it's more like a virus. I've got it, I'm giving it to you, if you're all open to it. And it's more of a tuning, a falling in synchrony with what's happening, than a giving of something. It's like something in you says, oh yeah, I'm that too. And then you've got it, and it starts you on the path. So that's the big picture of what we're about. A couple of other overall things before I hear from each one of you. It's this one's nature to track what actually happens with people, not what they say. So I've watched a lot of people for between 20 and 80 years, including, well, like my sister, I've known for 75 years. People change very slowly, most of us. So don't beat up on yourself if you don't get it like that. Especially as Westerners, we think we have to do it. Whereas the essence is that let go is the way. That the more you relax and let go inside, it happens by itself. The doing is a small part of it. Hey, Virgil. So be easy on yourselves. What I'm going to say now has been a very guarded esoteric secret. My enlightened teacher told it to me one night when we were walking in the mountains, and he said, the gurus don't say this because it discourages most people, but it's come to me to say it. It takes an average of 200 consecutive human births before you start to say, there's got to be some way out of here. And then you begin meditating. And then it takes an average of 8 more births before you get enlightened. And if you're going to be a spiritual teacher of some sort, your guru will delay you a couple more births so you can learn about all the different ways that people have trouble. So you can help. So don't beat up on yourselves if you think, oh gee, I've been meditating for 2 months and I'm still thinking. You know? The other side of this is there is something to do. Whatever your practice is, just remembering to be present. You can forget it, or you can try to forget it. It's never a ignorance. It's always an active self-sabotage that you're not doing what you know is best for you. So what you have to watch out for is, how am I shooting myself in my foot? How am I running away from what I know is best for me? It's not usually you have to learn more. It's that you have to ask yourself, why I'm in my own way. Am I in my own way right now? And don't compare yourself with other people. We don't know which life each of us is on, what each of us has to let go of, what burdens each of us is carrying from which past lives that we have to let go of. So, be gentle with yourself. What's different, and I'm here as a messenger of Osho. I encourage you to listen to all the other enlightened teachers, but what I really am carrying is Osho's energy. And what I know best is Osho's path, because I've been on it for 42 years. And I've worked with thousands of people on it. What's different about his way from the traditional ways? One, he says, celebrate, enjoy life. Whatever comes, do it. Being natural is the path. He is a huge break from all the old ascetic traditions. No fasting, no celibacy, no flagellation, no grueling rituals. To tune in and be natural and allow yourself to celebrate your life. Whoa. That gets to the next big thing, which is what is natural? We have to go from personality to individuality to no self. You can't jump directly from where you are to no self. At least I've never seen anybody do it. What I mean by personality, and what he means by personality, is all the crap that your parents, your teachers, your priests, your politicians have told you, you should do this and you shouldn't do that. Good boys don't crap in their pants, and they don't hit girls. They get to school on time, and they go to bed on time, and they eat this, but they don't eat that. You know, and the Ten Commandments and all of it. All these outside rules are your personality. Your individuality is whatever your nature is, that each one is born with, which is unique. Each individual has a unique individuality to manifest. So the first step is getting clear to yourself, hey, that's not really me, I'm doing it because this little voice of my mom in there says, Dawn, if you don't do this, nobody's going to love you. You know, stuff like that. To let go of those ideas and then to trust what comes up. Like, wow, I really want to do that, you know. I won't feel fulfilled until I do it. And it keeps changing and evolving. You can't pretend to be further along than you are, but you can hold yourself back for a long time. I've seen a lot of people who I feel are kind of in holding patterns because they haven't had the courage to let go of what they know isn't them and celebrate what is them. One of the tricks here is to make clear the difference between reaction and rebellion. Rebellion is being authentically yourself. Reaction is going against what you were taught. And that's all, I'm going to turn this off. That's almost as big a trap as giving in to all the conditioning. All the delinquent youth, you know, the kids we see in our practices, they're caught in reaction. They're not really being themselves, even though they often say I'm doing my own thing. They're reacting against what they think. They're not checking in and saying, what do I need at this point? The more authentic you become, you don't have to take notes, Rachel, because it's going to all be up on YouTube. And you look at it there.
I think she had him signing over
Hmm?
these. I think she had him signing over these.
I shouldn't take notes.
So, as you get deeper and deeper into being authentic, it starts to happen. At first, as glimpses, you realize, I'm not doing this, it's just happening. Like, and your mind, your ego will tell you for a long time that you are still doing it. But slowly, slowly, you realize, no, it's just happening. I'm at the, like, 2.5 years ago, I was in India with my enlightened teacher, Chinmaya. And he pulled me aside the first day, and he said, Bodhicitta, there's nobody there, and there's nobody here. We're just happening. And then every time in that month, when I would start to act as if it was me doing it, he'd go, ah! And since then, it's gotten clearer and clearer that this is just happening. And there's a fainter and fainter old mind in here that will worry about it or think about it. But more and more it lets itself just happen, like this book. To let it happen spontaneously was how it downloaded. And there's been some doubts, like even this morning and last night, really is it going to happen yet? I go, it's happening, it's cool. Eventually you get there, and then there's nobody to it. It's just happening. So that's the whole trip, condensed in case I die before the next time I see you. The next thing we're going to do is have the circle process. Mark Harrelin is the timekeeper, making sure that everybody gets their 3 minutes, no more, no less. The way the circle process works is that you get 3 minutes to be the center of attention. Everybody pays attention to that person for those 3 minutes. Whether you're talking or not, you are receiving the attention. And it will help you be clear about what's coming out. You bring out things that you didn't realize were there. And what that person says will trigger things in you, which you would usually make into a conversation, a criticism, or something like that. So you'll just watch your own thoughts as reactions, and that will tell you something about you during the circle process also. You gotta go to the bathroom?
Yes.
All right. Why don't we all take a break now? The bathroom is just down in the next little house here. And when everybody's had either a drink or a pee break, then we'll come back. We're on a pee break, Doug. turn the volume up so I can hear you.
Hey Doug,
Hello.
Swami.
Hey, what's happening?
Hi, Doug.
Hello to you all.
Okay, you're on.
Am I 3 minutes now?
Yeah. Carolyn's timing you.
Okay. Okay, so I met Osho 41 years ago, and there's a couple things I can relay in this communication to assist the speedy understanding of yourself, as Socrates said, know thyself. One thing is, knowing Osho was eliminated that I'm not my physical body and I'm not my mind. And these are very easy things to and have knowledge of yourself. First thing is that you can astral project or step out of your body. And there's so much on the internet, there's no point in explaining it. Once you see that for sure, you understand you're not your body. And Buddha's meditation of Vipassana and Buddha clearly demonstrate to you that you're not your mind. And so these two things are a very incredible journey. And they're very simple to have a working knowledge of this and an experience. So that eliminates the fact that you're your body, and that eliminates the fact that you're mind. And what remains is a very deep internal investigation. And this is the most beautiful journey I went on. Osho, sure, has been the greatest friend of my life. And I thought my 3 minutes would be up. How interesting. Anyway,
22
Vipassana
seconds.
is easy to do. That's just a matter of, that's a silent meditation where you just hold the mind and watch your breath. But you can also do this actively, like on an aggressive hike, when you're deep in breath, your mind just stops. So that can be accomplished very easily. So it's a very simple thing to do. And as far as astral projection goes, I mean, you can do it by, all these things can be done in just weeks or even a month. It's very simple. And that's kind of my quick message to you all. I had a longer message prepared, but it went on for minutes. I went through it. I think my time is up now.
Not yet. 36 seconds.
Okay. Being timed is a little bit challenging. Well, my view and what Osho taught me, I experienced through him was giving my body to my mind. And believe me, it's not complicated. Very simple. That's it for me. Okay, that is my 3 minutes.
Okay. Now you're off the hook.
Okay.
Thank you.
Kathy, you're next.
Okay. My name is Kathy. I am a Florida transplant from Massachusetts. I wait tables. My husband Chris and I have been together 22 years, and 5 years ago, Chris got a traumatic brain injury, and I think that is the reason that I was supposed to be with him. I graduated college with a degree in psychology, but it's kind of hard when you're this close in the relationship. But it's taught me so much about life and what's important, and never forget to say I love you. Never leave the house angry. This journey right here is perfect timing for me. I've always been a people pleaser. Had kind of strict parents growing up, you know, got to keep dad happy, got to keep mom happy. And that's continued into my adult life as far as I'm always go, go, go. Working part-time and being Chris's caregiver, I'm always on the run. You know, we got to get to here, we got to get to there, we got to get to there. And I don't take time to step back and let everything be. And that's where I am, and that's where I think this place is going to be the perfect spot for me at this time in my know that was nowhere near 3 minutes. I'm terrible at speaking in public too. I'm just very happy to be here. This journey is going to be excellent. The introduction to Osho has been amazing for both Chris and I. We're still amateurs in the meditation, but we're working on it, and it's going to be really good for the both of us. We have a connection that's unreal, and Dr. Ferber has seen it between the two of us. I'm just happy to be here, and I'm probably still nowhere close. I have a brother in Minnesota who nobody really hears from very much, and that's kind of been a little upsetting to me because he's on a totally different path of just money, 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 and that's his goal. And it kind of surprises me that we grew up in the same house together, but we're completely opposite people. And I'm happy to be here. I'm nowhere close, am I?
3 minutes, no comment on each other. Say what comes spontaneously. The task is about knowing yourself.
Well, I've never been a good public speaker, and I know that. That always gave me much anxiety. And that's a whole other issue there, anxiety. Coming with the go, 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 and having to be certain places at certain times. And it's okay if you're a few minutes late. One other thing I've learned too is listening to listen and not listen to react. And he's kind of taught me that lately. He'll say something, and a lot of times I'm just snapping.
Chris?
I'm Chris Maggard. I'm Kathy Maggard's husband. As she said, I did have an incident about 4.5 years ago. Completely changed my life from being a hard worker every day, owning my own company, helping a buddy run his own company. I went from being super busy to finding myself lost, gone. There's no more work. There was no more anything. And I thought, well, if there is nothing, then, you know, until I seen Dr. Ferber, he had to make me understand that I'm not Chris, the carpenter, the business owner. I'm Chris with a traumatic brain injury. And I have my whole life ahead of me. And now I can retire and enlighten myself through Osho and through Ferber. I've always been close to Mother Earth. Always been what they call a quote-unquote hippie. Followed the dead quite a few times. Been around the country. And I just always felt this inner attraction to Mother Earth. And then now I'm starting to realize I have my whole self to work on too. You know, I got to become self-aware of who I am. And one way to do that is to meditate, is to just shut everything out and listen to what I'm telling myself. And a lot of times it's hard. A lot of times it's very hard. But if I don't do it, then I'll never get by, and I'll never raise to that next level that I strive to be at so much. So if I don't have self-awareness, if I don't have, you know, any clue of who I am, then I am nobody. So I do have to redefine myself into somebody I'm happy with, or everybody around me will be unhappy. No one will be happy. And it's hard to, you know, and I just had surgery here. I just had spinal surgery. been very difficult on her and on myself. And if we didn't have you, I don't know where we would have. No one offered us any sort of help. And thank God, and I don't know how, I found you. And it saved us. It saved both of us. I don't know where I would have been. Psychologically, without you, I would have been lost. I would have nowhere to, no goals, I don't have any goals. I have an ambition to help others the way I've been helped, because so many people need help mentally that they're not getting. And I thank you, Mr. Furby, Dr. Furby. I love you. I love you, Carolyn.
In here, I'm not Dr. Furby, guys.
I'm
The
sorry.
easy name is Chichi. Yeah. Kristen.
That was my fault, and I caught it as soon as I said
We
it.
all got habits.
I'm Kristen. I want to be the person I was supposed to be. I'm gonna cry. I have traumatic brain injury too. I've gotten myself through a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. I have a doctorate in psychology. And I applied these things to myself. But now, it feels like every time I'm trying to do this stuff, there's a woman of some kind. And it's been health recently. I had brain surgery on the January 10th. It left me with a lot of things going too. And I'm thankful that they've come back, most of them. But it's,
Hard work, yeah.
it's and then I was back and I was gonna help children, foster care, adoption, and I got an ulcer. And I'm the victim. I want to be a victim. And I met him once. I met Gigi once. That was it. I hid the things that I said when we met. And he talked to me for 35, 40 extra minutes, which you know doesn't happen when you go to see somebody. The things I said, I saw him say on the videos that I saw. And I truly believed him because he was telling me that he saw something special in me, was ready. And I've known I am, just haven't known how to get there. Stop blocking myself. And I'm so grateful. I'm so for that. And please don't put this on YouTube. I'm just, but besides that, there's so many weird things. Like when I was pregnant, electricity arced out of the outlet at me, and just such bizarre things happen that I'm trying to make sense of it.
I'm Scott. Currently the caretaker here on the property. I live here. I'm blessed to be here. Graduated FGCU. I'm from Florida, and I I've experienced a lot of my own things throughout life, and I've been across the country. I lived in Oregon for a few years. I grew up in fast-paced Fort Lauderdale, Fort Myers for college. I have a lot of deep roots here in this location. Moving out west, I learned to, I shed a lot of myself on what I grew up thinking who I was and what I was and what I need to be. And living out west gave me a different perspective on people and community and humanity and selflessness. And when I grew up here, where it was fast-paced, cutthroat, gotta make money, gotta make mom and dad happy, gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta do what society wants me to do. And so moving out west, I really got to gain a different perspective where people lived for themselves a little bit and also for each other. But what am I saying? Like, who am I? Do you want to know, like, where I'm from? Is that who I am? Is it who I love? Is it what I do or what I've done? Is it the things that I'm excited for? Is it things that I'm afraid of? Is it the things that I want you all to think that I am? So, like, who am I? I think that at times, who we are and who I am and what the universe is all to be one. And I think who we are, who I am, who you are, is that we're the same. I'm not better than, I'm not less than, but we are all here in this experience together. And I think that has a lot to do with not who I am, but who we are and what we are. I've been presented with questions. I'm also, I work here. I'm also in the resort and hospitality industry. I've been presented with a lot of questions over the years, and some folks have even asked me, do you believe in God? And that's always the most uncomfortable thing to be asked when you're at one place and at your place of work, to express what you believe in. But again, I think that we are all that one connected consciousness in itself. And what I'm experiencing is what you're experiencing in your own way. And I'm just, thank you.
Guy's got his honey now.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Apollon. My stage name is Apollo Fresh. Most of my friends call me Apollo or Fresh. I'm a creator, and through the process of learning that I was a creator, it didn't dawn on me that I was a creator until I realized that I can be whoever I want to be, do what I want, and there's no limits on myself. And I just want to create and be. And this journey that we are all about to embark on is so beautiful to me, and just like came in at the perfect time because me and my friend Peter Lang, we started a brand movement, art collective together called Wavelengths, and through that we want everybody to know that they can be creators too, and they are creators. They just have to realize it for yourself that you can do whatever you want to do. There's no limits on you. Creation, we're humans because we create. Like we are us because we created tools in the first place. Everything we do is creation, and we don't need any more limiters or like titles on that to hold us back. But as I discovered more about music and just creating, just being me, I never felt more free. Just learning more about myself and being more free just through all of this, and I felt liberated. And Chi-Chi came and talked to me about this. And as soon as he said self-liberate, the book's about self-liberation, I was like, I need to have some part of this because I can feel that I need to learn more and I need to know more because that's what we want everybody to know. And for myself, because first off, everything I do is for myself, and in turn, like I can still be benevolent, like for other people, like if some other people are for my goals or how I feel for whatever. But I feel like it's important that everything is for ourselves, and just to be yourself all the way and create and just be. Are we on time? I love life. Life is amazing. Life is magnificent. We don't have to feel like it isn't anyway. Focus on the good, not on the bad. That's how I would always look at it. Be you. Be happy. Because you can be, and you can choose to be. Yeah. I'm from Broward County, Florida. I was born in New York, raised in Davie, Florida. That's touching Dade County. Most of the music I make is rap-based, but I want to expand into like all different genres. I also throw wavelengths, we throw events and do all different others. So whatever you want to do, we create, we be.
Hello, I'm Gloria. Wow, how do I describe myself? I'm a student. I graduate from FGCU in August 2017. Okay. Let's see. I've been doing yoga for a little over 4 years. I've gotten into meditation within the last 2 years. I've been very lucky to have mentors and guides who, you know, recognize my path and help me along it. And I'm very thankful, you know, to everyone, even everyone here, you know. And I do truly feel oneness. You know, one energy, one love, and all of that. Let's see. I like to sing. I think I might sing a little something for you. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and may the pure light within you guide your way on. I love sharing song with others.
Very nice.
It really it makes the connection like into this dimension. I think for me it like brings it full circle. So thank you. A quote that I like, I believe this is Carl Jung, don't quote me on that, but that half of life is about building up a healthy ego, and then the other half of life is about tearing it down. So, you know, over my life, I had a lot of like self-confidence issues and all that, and I really feel that I've come into myself kind of thing, and so I've had this like confidence, like, yeah, this is what I want to do, this is who I am kind of thing, and now it's like pulling out of that and being like, okay, maybe that's who I think I am, but really, what does that mean? What am I? You know, and it's just, it's been a beautiful process, and I'm thankful to be here. Let's see. I've lived in Florida most of my life. I was born in Hawaii, but I, you know, identify as both, and yeah, I'm a baby sister in my family. It's just my mom, my sister, and I now. So we've got a really tight-knit little family, and I'm thankful for them.
My name is Claudia. I'm full of life. I love, 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 love. I'm super real. I will tell you and live my life the way I want. No one has been able to control me, not even my mother, which has been the most amazing person in my life, and is still this close to me. I have it in my heart and right next to me, but has not been able because I love to learn, and so I have, since I was very little, absorbed information and loved to learn. And the most amazing way to learn when I was little is to be with adults. So adults apport a lot to me. which made me grow into a pretty amazing team. It was just my mother, my brother and I. My brother is a lot older than me, so pretty much it was my mother and I. And I have no father, but I have a lot of people around me building me up and filling me up with lots of energy, love. Through my years, I have lived a lot. I traveled the world. That was something I always wanted since I was a little girl. So I have been with a lot of cultures, which have taught me a lot and helped me a lot to learn. So I'm pretty much a book full of energies, love, information, and I love to share them with anybody that comes in my path. I've been living here in Fort Myers for about 24 years. It's going to be this year. What a transition. It was an amazing transition. It was a pretty crazy one. I came from Colombia. We're in Medellin, Colombia. Amazing city, full of life, beautiful mountains, the Andes Mountains, which give me also lots of vibration, lots of energies. I carry them with me. I feel them every single day. But coming to here, the most amazing experience. Even though I have the mountains and everything up there, I was in a city in concrete. Everything is concrete. You come to the mountains, but you and there. Here, I'm in tune with nature, which every day taught me to love it more and more and more. I have animals in my house. My area where we live, my mother is also very much her vibrations too. So we have something built kind of like this, full of plants, full of energy, full of love. We have fish, we have dogs, we have cats, we have ducklings, no children, but just lovely, lots of love.
I'm Natalie. This is my husband Nick, and we have two lovely twins. So becoming a mother about 4.5 years ago has been it's been like the big test for me. So just trying to slow down and just have patience to be pulled in lots of different directions and just to be myself and try to be that pure love for the kids, but it often doesn't come in the form of hugs and kisses. It's often trying to feel like I need to keep my sanity but keep everybody safe. So trying to be that mother bear and also trying to keep myself grounded and be who I am. And I am a creator. I am myself, and I like to be in tune with nature. I vibe with everything that everyone has said, and some peace. Yes, we're all connected, and looking for that connection. And the biggest way I find it in my connection to reconnect with myself is to sing and play music. And one thing I feel like it's my practice, my meditations, to sing and write songs. And of course, it makes me a little nervous sometimes to share who I am. But there's these tuners that tune you to the 440 frequency. Standard 440 hertz frequency, and then I have a tuner on my phone, which I don't even know where my other is. It's a tuner for to tune into the earth frequency. So I find that to tune myself in to it's a great app you can put on your phone. Where is that app? It's the 432 tuner, so kind of bringing it down a few notches, and that's what I need sometimes, is to be barefoot and play outside and be away from the cell phone and find the limits of the tools of the cell phone and all this technology and YouTube stuff, and so tuning it down just a little bit. And that's me kind of calming down and kind of being who I am. And I can already feel that, like, that I've, just because I've said my piece of maybe a glimpse of who I am, I just feel a little, like my nerves have calmed down a little bit, just to share that. I'll share a song with you sometime.
Hi, I'm Jeff. And I'm scared of exposure. And it's been a problem most of my life. I keep moving because a moving target is hard to hit. So I keep myself busy pretty much all the time. I feel I restrict the natural flow of life sometimes doing that. I'm a people pleaser. And I feel I don't know who I am, but I know I'm here today. And to start that beginning. I think I've been building walls so I wouldn't have to expose myself. And it's time to, you know, knock a few blocks off and peek and see what's out there. And it's not an easy thing to do. Fear is involved in my life. It's something I gotta walk through. And I don't allow myself to slow down or anticipate. To breathe, as Keith would say. I've been practicing on my breathing. That's my start. Just realizing I'm here with you guys today. And, breathing. This is a good moment. And, pretty much I'm going to stop it there. Hi, my name's Nick. It's my wife and family. And lived here in Naples for most of my life. Traveled a little bit around the world.
come to an understanding that this world is a place for us, and you can go anywhere. You just have to allow yourself to put down all your fears and go and see the world out there, because for me that helped me come to a realization in life, and also brought me experiences that allowed me to do what I felt I really wanted to. I was traveling in New Zealand. A rugby player who was working for it advised me to go to a Vipassana, a 10-day Vipassana, something I had no idea what it was, but I had the time, and so we went to this Vipassana. And so Vipassana is just a meditative process, and within that 10 days, all of meditation and just breathing and just kind of observing yourself. You never get the opportunity to just observe yourself for that period of time. It brought to me something of the idea that I can never be put in jail, because in the glimpse that I did see in that 10 days, you just kind of come back into life after that point. You think it's just like everybody's just like running around like a bunch of ants. We're doing all this stuff, and then you've just been sitting for 10 days, and you felt happier than you ever had in your entire life. You know? But anyway, then you come back into life and you try to live, and there's many things that I've done to myself through, things you put into your body, thoughts you think that kind of pull you away from that point again. And it's always a good time to go back and visit, and that's what I'm trying to do more of.
Alright, I'm Peter Lane from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Broward County area. I'm a creator, but it's more so like what I am. But if you're asking who I am, Peter Lane, kind of like spastic in my thoughts, high energy most of the time. Pretty content most of the time, like kind of happy. I guess that's my vibe that I shoot out to a lot of people. I love, like, I'm really interested in people. Like, while sitting here, I was just watching all of you. And someday in my free, like later on, when I have enough money, I'm just gonna go to different countries and just like be a ghost, be a social experiment, just like watch people. No one's gonna know who I am. But that's beside the point. Going into more about me, speaking about like who I am, I'm adopted and my parents are white, so growing up, there is definitely, like, that was a big question of like, who am I? Growing up, like, in the consciousness, living in the context of our society where like we have racial problems and different things going on, it definitely affects you. So growing up in teenage, whatever's weird stuff, you know, I went through that very like young. Who the fuck am I? Like, what am I? What am I to this world? Who is Peter Lane? I ask myself that sometimes right now. But the conclusion I came to is that I am Peter Lane, and each and every day I'm more becoming Peter Lane each and every day, because Peter Lane is never going to change. Peter Lane is ever growing and ever changing and limitless, and sad and depressed and happy and mad and stinky sometimes, happy sometimes. So like, I like anime, I like theater, I do a lot of performance. Like when I think about it, I was thinking about it while sitting here. Like sometimes I hate performing. I hate the idea that I'm a performer. I hate the idea that like I'm an act. Like that goes back to me thinking about my adoption. Like, am I just an act? Am I just like another run-of-the-mill like minstrel or some shit? Like what am I? You feel me? Am I just performing every single day? But at the same time, what I just know is that I can't help but express myself. And the way I tend to express myself in music is people. You're just entertaining or it's in performing. Or I just have this exuberant energy that just radiates from me, right? But recently, this past 2 years, holy crap, have I gone through a different change.
I'm Dawn, and I'm originally from Pittsburgh, and I've lived in Fort Myers for 25 years. I have been in oncology for 25 years of my life, so I've been dealing with caring for cancer patients, helping them get through their diagnosis and their treatment. And well, just 3 weeks ago, I started working with Chi-Chi. So this is all new to me, and psychology is all new to me. But I'm enjoying learning, and I love my new job. It was very hard for me to take that step and leave what I know for 25 years and start something new. But I'm so glad I did. I didn't realize how toxic my old job was and how demanding it was. Took all of my life. It was a 24/7 job. I was always on call, and so in that, I think I have focused too much of my life on work and not really myself. I'm a mother. I have 2 daughters, and so all of my extra time goes to them. They're involved in dancing, so we're constantly running around everywhere and trying to figure out how I'm going to get them to dance class and work. And I'm a single mom. Their dad's involved, but he doesn't really like to take them to dance class. I'm doing that. I really feel that I'm here. I love to help people. That's kind of one of my things. Patients still call me to this day, even from my other job, if they need help with getting radiology exams done for free. I tend to have a lot of connections, and I'm able to help people that maybe can't afford their treatment. And in doing that, I think it's also because of all the people that have been blessed and brought into my life. So I'm super blessed to have met everybody that helps me be me. I hate talking in front of people. 3 minutes is a long time. I love to talk just not in front of a lot of people. How much longer? 29 seconds. That's pretty much it.
My name is Erica. I'm at Chi-Chi at Elite DNA, where I'm a therapist, and I've always wanted to be a therapist. It's a pretty traumatic childhood, so I've always been empathetic and been through a lot of pain, so I wanted to transcend that pain to help other people. Went through multiple abuses as a child and said, damn it, I'm going to overcome this, and it's not going to kill me. And I love to help other people. I was destined to be, as he calls it, a healer. I take that responsibility very seriously. I do it with my whole soul and being. I consider it an honor that people allow me into their lives. pain. And I just consider myself a vessel. I don't consider myself an expert. But that whatever flows through me is what they need at the moment. I can sit with other people's pain, and I consider that a gift. Not only, it's a gift for me to be able to sit with someone else's pain. I'm glad to be here. I'm open to be here. I believe that we are one together in consciousness. And I'm open and very curious to learn. I think I'll be that way till I die and beyond. I love people. I love animals. I have 2 children, a husband. They keep me on my toes, very busy. My children and my husband come first. I guess I should probably put myself first. Learning to take care of myself as Chi-Chi tells me to. If I don't have anything, I can't give anything away. So I try to put my oxygen mask on first before assisting others. I just want to do the most good, heal the most pain while I'm here on this earth. I'm all about love, 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 love. And fun. I want to have fun. I believe happiness is a choice. No matter what you've been through, you can choose happy. I could choose to be a miserable son of a bitch. It's up to you. I choose happy and fun. I'm like a dolphin. I like to dive deep, and then I like to surface and have fun. That's just the way I like to explain it.
Scarlett?
I'm Scarlett. Let's see. I met Chi-Chi 2 years ago.
A little louder, Scarlett.
I met Chi-Chi 2 years ago. I'm a therapist in Elite DNA. I do consider myself a healer. I believe that love is definitely the healing force. Love heals, so I believe in love. I'm a mother. I am from the Dominican Republic. I've been here at Fort Myers for 10 years. I love nature, I love plants, I love butterflies, I love to be in contact with nature as often as I can. Initially when I met Chi-Chi, I was always curious to know what meditation was about, and he kept telling me that it's not about doing it, it's about just happening. And it took me a long time before I could understand that. How can you meditate without knowing that you are doing that, or without wanting to do it, or consciously doing it? So I realized that being in contact with nature is my way of meditating, and I try to do that as often as I can. It's hard in our line of work because we have to be in a room for 10 hours a day and seeing clients. So I take the weekends to try to be in contact with nature and recharge again. My children are really the fuels that keeps me going. I love helping people. I also knew that I wanted to be a therapist very young because of dysfunction in my family. So I take my job very seriously, and I am blessed to have so many people in the past 10 years share their experiences in their lives and let me in their lives. I believe that we all visitors in people's life, and the same way that they visit my life, I visit their life.
I love that. That's about it for me. I'm happy to be here and I want to learn. So that's it.
Okay.
I truly have felt in this moment of hearing you all share your stories that I've never seen myself more clearly than in your story. I've resonated with each and every one of you. The dynamic, expressive parts, the hurt, the pain, the fear, that's all a part of my story. And I feel that this week I've transcended being limited by the own story that I told myself I was. Who I learned as a child I was, who I wanted to be to win over others' affection or approval in work, and there's truly no word that I can describe myself or express myself to you other than that every bit of my being wants to hug each and every one of you. It wants to love you. And I used to be afraid to do that. I used to hold myself back. You know, I used to not want to cry, not want to hug, not want to just give. And I'm not even doing it. There is no me that's choosing to it. It just comes through me. And so who I am is learning right now in this moment not to hold myself back. And also not to fill the space up with any useless words. To allow the moment to be good enough. Because it is. It's completely good enough. And I think it's just incredible that we can all sit in this room, and most of you strangers to me, I love you more dearly than I ever thought was possible. Bodhicitta once looked into my eyes and awakened me. And I didn't ever think I could be at this point. But now I feel like this is who I always have been. None of it was true. I made it all up. It was an illusion that I was looking for evidence to prove my sad story. And now I've dropped it all. I don't have a sad story anymore. This is like tears of just complete joy. The being.
Hi everybody, I'm Virgil. So my direction in life has always been truth. What awoke me to the greater sense was the body. Because my job is always I've always needed the body to be useful for my job. So in the process of learning how to use the body, I realized it was all the beliefs that I was holding. And so as I learned to let go of beliefs and I let go of resisting the moment, my body started healing. And there's a couple experiences that, one was, as I let go of the body, I woke up in the middle of the night, and since this was my identification, I woke up, but every joint popped as I stood up. And I looked around my room, and it's when I got home from my job, and all my bags were on the ground, and I looked around, I was like, everything I've ever needed came to me the moment I needed that. And I even got more than I thought I needed. Everything was always provided. There's nothing that I ever need to worry about or think about or go get. It'll just come to me the moment I need it. And so I kind of had that experience. And as I got released from my job, and my identity was my job,
And since I was a baseball player, and so since I got released from being a baseball player, now who am I? And I literally stood at my car, patted myself down, and was like, I'm alive, and now I get to go home, and my parents are still going to be there. Everyone still loved me, because all my relationships, everything I ever created, was because I was a baseball player. So after that, I started really sinking into who I was. There was another experience about healing the body that woke me up. Was I was listening to Wayne Dyer, and I was walking from the clubhouse to the training room. And for some reason, I said in my mind, I take full responsibility for every injury, for everything that I've ever had. Like everything. I blamed my body not working for me. It was me against that. I blamed people for throwing me the wrong way. And the moment I took responsibility is the moment I've never been hurt ever again. Anything that shows up, I look at it and I realize that the body is showing me that I'm just using it inefficiently, or I'm using my mind inefficiently. And so my mind has always been the truth. Like, gravity doesn't care if you agree with it or disagree with it. It's going to do the same thing. And the same with like life is like, as I continue to dig into the reasons why, like, why am I the observer? Well, I'm not the observer. I'm actually the awareness. Like, how can you sink that far back into consciousness without losing it? Thank you.
My turn. Oh boy, it's my turn. Well, I could sit here and tell you a lot of stories about my history, or tell you my name and where I was born, but none of that is me. And there's lots of things that I probably could say, but I really have absolutely no clue who I am. I have had experiences in this lifetime that have thrown me into spaces that I haven't ever come back out of. Different space than what I thought was the world, or how I perceive myself as me in the world. And one being a near-death experience where I felt totally dissolved in everything, the grass, the trees, the universe, everything. Most of which has stayed with me since that experience. So I don't have much of an experience of the physical body a lot of the time. And a little while ago, during one of the groups that we have been doing recently, I suddenly realized that anything that I really thought was me, like my story, that just wasn't it. It disappeared. I can't say it was something I let go of. It just sort of dissolved. And it leaves me feeling no separation between anyone or anything. And also, at the same time, wondering if my mind is leaving me, if I'm losing it, or maybe it just doesn't work the same way it used to. So I really, I can't really put into words how it is that I am existing on this planet, except that it's moment to moment. I can say that much about it. I don't have a lot of thought about past or future, except for stupid things, which, like who's going to clean the house tomorrow and things like that. The everyday reality sort of stuff. That still does a little number in my head, but I've been into meditation for 35, almost 37 years, I guess now. And I can't say it's actually something that I have done. It's just something that now happens. Happens especially in circumstances like this. Being totally right here, right now. Sure.
All right. What do you do?
What about Did you have a turn?
Oh, right, yeah.
Just gonna like drift into my frame over here. All right, hi guys, I'm Daniel. I've been like floating around, making really good eye contact with a lot of you guys today, and it's absolutely incredible. Like, I think a lot of my life growing up, I was really able to connect with people. The last 4 years kind of just fell off. Maybe it's me just not realizing that I still can, or what, I don't know, but maybe it's just words. I think that the English language is a very primitive way to communicate. I think that all of us in this room have a way to communicate that we don't really realize is there, that we're not told is there, but it's more powerful than anything. It's not physical, it's not any of these 7 senses that we all have. And I'm not saying it's a magical 7th sense or something like that, but it's just, you know, that's one of the things that makes us human. I'm 21, and I've spent a lot of time recently trying to figure out what in my life has made me act the way I do and respond to things the way I do. I was born in South Africa, moved to the US in March of 2000, and grew up with my mom and dad and sister, and they are the most important people in the world to me. My parents spent so much time raising me and making sure I wasn't focused on all the wrong things, and every day I'm so appreciative of that. Obviously, coming from not a first world country and going back there, I've been back progressively throughout my life, and each time, God, it opened my mind so much, just realizing how goddamn lucky I am, how hard some people have life and still make it work and are still happy, and like, that's so relevant today. Like, everyone goes on social media and scrolls through videos, and sometimes they're funny and sometimes they're not, but you know, a lot of times there's like videos of people that 20 years ago you never would have experienced, and like they can teach you so much. Like, I did martial arts for 13 years, and I had a master who had done it for 45, 50 now, and he knows more than I ever will. And being so young, trying to learn all of those things and sort of understand it, I like really forced myself to become kind of like a mature person in a sense, and a lot of people have always told me that, but I go home at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm such a child. Like, I do the dumbest shit sometimes and think the stupidest ways, but like, it's just who you are. Like, everyone's got dumb thoughts, everyone's got these things, but it's like how you respond to it and how like you just move in this world that we're in now. And you know, sometimes it's really difficult because there's things that happen in your life that you can't explain, that consistently happen in your life that you cannot explain, and like, you just work around it. And like, there's just like, you know, it's adversity in our lives comes not like as something to shut you down. I think adversity is a boundary that if you respond correctly, there's nothing but growth. You know, if someone dies in your life, and there's the opportunity to roll down the hill and cry and never climb back up, or you can stand where you are, sit down for a second and keep on going in the same direction, or go even higher, you know, learn from that.
I'm amazed. I was, each one of you, when you were talking. This one here, about a year and a half ago in a group we were doing in California, there was a moment where I realized I'm not my body, I'm not my mind. And it's never gone back to the body and the mind since then. So I can't say what it is anymore. But it's, you know, Jeremiah was a bullfrog. He was a friend of mine. I didn't understand the word he said, but we had a very good time. Joy to the world, joy to the world, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea, and joy to you and me. And that's, you know, the trip. It just gets better and better. I've stopped playing therapist with my patients. Whoever's there, I just allow whatever comes, and I'm having the most amazing time, moment to moment. I avoid things that feel like bullshit. I don't have hardly any ordinary social life anymore because people are spending their time putting labels on this, I'm not this. I love being with kids. Nick and Natalie's kids, I adore them. They're just, you know, they're better than my own grandkids. They just, Chi-chi, you know.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled at how this group is going already. It's like, literally when I told you at the beginning that it woke me up at the night and said, do this book, do this group. And I said, what? You know, this is what's happening, and it's happening. I'm just so thrilled. I know we're going to evolve in amazing ways. The truth that I'm experiencing coming out of each one of us, it just is so fascinating. Part of why I love doing groups with Carolyn is she never talks about shit like this when we're having dinner or anything like that. But in a situation like this, she comes out and, you know, wow. So, thank you all for being here. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Was it 3:15?
No, it's 3.
Around there. 17.
Yeah, 3.
3:17, right, all right. So, like I said, I want us, I treat this like it could be the last time, so I want to give you the best shot. So, before you leave today, I have a couple of introductions to meditation from Osho's book, What is Meditation, and start with catharsis. What catharsis means is that all of us have got so much repressed, pushed down thoughts, feelings, memories, however you want to conceive it. It's like, we're like icebergs. 1/10 is above, 9/10 is below. Ordinary classic meditations, what's being peddled as mindfulness these days, which is Buddhism light, or any of the other meditative traditions, people don't stick with them because they sit there and their thoughts go blah, 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 you know, when they get restless, they go away from it. Catharsis comes from the Greek word for enema, and it means, you know, throwing it out. Osho devised several cathartic meditations. I'm going to email you all of them. I would urge you, the main job between now and the next meeting is to remember yourself all the time. Now, if you want to do any meditative practices in order to make your self-remembering better, I would urge you, ideally, to do one cathartic meditation each day. They have demos on YouTube of what all of them are. For you people who are somewhat old like me or Jeff, or somewhat physically challenged, you don't have to do the ones on there, or you can modify it like the Kundalini says, 15 minutes shaking, 15 minutes dancing, 15 minutes sitting, 15 minutes lying flat. You can sit in your chair, do the shaking. You don't have to get up and shake. You can dance in the chair, you don't have to get up and dance. But the main thing is to allow your spontaneous out. A couple of briefer catharses that also work pretty good. One I learned in my medical Qigong training is called beating the bag. You get a big bag of some kind and go, God damn it! And you just beat the bag and let it out for 15, 20 minutes. And then you lie flat for 15, 20 minutes. You'd be surprised what comes up. The simplest one of all is called gibberish. It comes from the Sufi saint Al-Jabbar. And his main method was to have his disciples sit around and go, whatever comes, just let it come for 15 minutes, half hour, and then again, after the let go part, an equal amount, at least 15, 20 minutes, just lie flat. It's like all the crap you brought up flows down the river. So, I'm keeping no grades, no score. If you don't do it, it's your own trip, man. But this has worked for me. I did the dynamic meditation, which is the most extreme of these, every day for 18 years. Much of it while living in communes where you're in this intense energy field the whole time. And we're working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week too. You know, it's your own trip, but try it. Don't say, it's a lot of crap. And try the cathartic stuff. You'll see. Edric, who is a sannyasin and who is in the phase of, I'm going to do